So that's the big bag of CDs, and there's the dump over there. I don't think there's anything else that I can use anyways. Lots of stuff. I'm not too close. Okay, so I'm here at the dump, and I already grabbed a bunch of CDs, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm gonna grab these. They're like old, they're in rough shape, but you never know. Use them for a project or something. I'll show you the CDs in a second. Okay, so that is, I just closed up the store. It was one of those days today at the store. These young kids who honestly were just really well behaved, and I know this is going to sound like, you know, they were disrespectful. They totally weren't. But like the one kid was like, yeah, I was talking about like things being old in here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of, you know, even myself, I look kind of old. And the one kid's like, yeah, you really do. I don't think he understood how like that might be construed as a bit of an insult, but I was like, oof, yeah, you know, well, I am old and I do feel it, but anyways, I digress. So I didn't get a chance to go through the bag of stuff and the things that I picked up from the town dump, which I think I filmed some of, I hope. So we're going to go through that bag of CDs now, and then maybe I'll show the picture frames as well, that I got the antique picture frames, which are kind of cool. Again, for those of you who don't know, like I am in a small town in southern Ontario, and we have a local transfer station, town dump, and they have kindly set up an area where people can take stuff that they think is better than just going to the dump and leave it there for other people to take for free. It cuts down on stuff going to the landfill. It gets things reused. And I discovered it totally by accident, because the way my eyes worked, I was driving by it, actually taking stuff to the landfill section, I did a demo job on an old deck, and glanced out the corner of my eye they have a giant like sea crate that they just leave open on one side. And I swore I saw a pile of records, and I came driving back, and sure enough, there were a ton of records in there that one time, and I grabbed them all, and I have been going back once a week since then. And I need to look around the store. Like the stores, I have more stuff than, like, if I sold 10 things a day, like if I sold 100 things a day, the store would never be empty before I'm dead. So I really should stop buying things, but I just can't, because that's the fun part of this business. It's the hunt that keeps me into it. So the dump is just like another venue to help me with that feeling. So yeah, let's go look at that stuff. Okay, so that is the bag of CDs that I grabbed from the town dump. Try and ignore the really menacing looking crosscut saw in the background. That's just something I'm going to be throwing up on Marketplace later. And this is my photo booth area, where I sort of have the best lighting for this sort of thing. So I'm just going to go through these real quick. I really haven't gone through them. I kind of glanced in the bag when I was picking them up, and just sort of brought them in and going through them now. So I don't really know if there's anything really great in here, but here's the thing. Free, which to me is great. So what do you start off with? Madonna's Greatest Hits Volume 2. Pretty clean. Look at that. I did look at a few, and they all, you know, they sort of did look pretty clean. So what else we got? The Bare Naked Ladies, Born on a Pirate Ship. Nothing that really interests me so far. I'm not saying that it wouldn't interest you, but it's not me. Alanis Morissette. I think that's a Columbia Records. Yeah, Columbia House. Cherry Cherie. No idea who that is. Holly Cole. Sheryl Crow. Desmond's Hip City. Interesting. Poe Girl. Sarah McLachlan. Michael Bublé. So a lot of this stuff is looking like it's going to go out into the store. Adele's 19. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is probably just going to go out into the store or possibly even redone. It's Sarah Harmer. Sarah, I actually went to the same high school as Sarah. Lester B. Pearson in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. I don't know if I think I have all Sarah's stuff on CD. And the Lilith Fair, look how much CDs cost back in the day. Used CDs were $13.99. Another Madonna. What else we got? Oh, there you go. Bob Dylan, Times. Put that one over in my keep pile. Feist. Jan Arden. Sarah McLachlan. Looks like somebody was sort of like Dan Griffith. I don't know who that is. That looks like somebody's indie CD. That might be something to check out. Amanda Marshall. A lot of female sort of pop and singer-songwriters live. Hootie and the Blowfish. There we go. Katie Lang. Lady Katie. Other Bare Naked Ladies. Cranberries. Strangely enough, I actually sort of met Dolores. Unbeknownst to me, my friend's parents had a place up in Muskoka Lakes area and near Buckhorn, and her husband, who was Canadian, and I believe her manager as well, had a cottage there. And I was sitting on the dock, hungover one morning, and she just paddled up in a canoe because we had the dog with us, and she was curious to ask about the dog. So that was at the height of their popularity too. So it was pretty flabbergasting. We were just a bit dumbstruck, but she was super nice. I know that. Ron Sexsmith. Actually, I might keep that one. I like Ron. It's an Eric Clapton Unplugged that is destroyed. Lana Del Rey. Born to Die. Throw that in the maybe keep pile. Beatles White Album. I already have this. I'm pretty sure I already have this. Let's see. Another Ron Sexsmith, which I may have that one too. Martina McBride. Oh, Sweet Ella. Toe the Wet Sprocket. That's another copy of that Holly Cole. Springsteen's Greatest Hits. Adele's 21. I'm not familiar with Adele, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I just sort of stopped listening to pop radio years ago. But does she name all of her records after numbers? Like, didn't she have 19 and that's 21? REM's Out of Time. Look at that. Used $8.99 at The Beat Goes On back in the day. I remember going to The Beat Goes On. The Killers. And one last one in there. Another Sarah McLachlan. So, let's see. Grand tally of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So how's that for riveting YouTube viewing? A man counting CDs. 37 CDs. Now, normally, not a big deal, like honestly, but the fact that they were free and from the dump. I have CDs in my retail store. Not huge sellers, but there has been a lot more interest in it. I primarily deal in vinyl and have for the last 20 years here at the store, but more and more people are asking for CDs, so more and more I'm sort of picking them up here and there. I still tend to pick up like metal, hip-hop, and things like that. But these, I'm sure most of them, because they're pretty clean, I should be able to sell for a couple of bucks a piece. So, you know, again, it's just that you never really know. And I got a couple that I'll probably end up keeping myself. Can't really go too wrong with that. So I didn't show the, I don't know if I saw them on the original video that I filmed when I was there, of the antique frames, which were pretty cool. Actually, I should probably stop the video and just go show those. They're in rough shape. But yeah, we'll go have a look at those right now. Okay, so that isn't, they're in rough shape. But these are, you know, you're looking at 1900, late 1890s all the way through like 19 teens. There are these bow fronted glass. You can see that. The glass is actually probably worth rescuing out of these more than anything else. That people will put their family picture frames, but these ones have clearly lived in a barn for quite some time. But the glass is still good in them. They had this like plaster of Paris and gesso type decorative frames that have deteriorated to the point where they won't be savable. That one's deteriorated completely. I mean, the paintings, I love this one just because, like, look at that couple. And it looks kind of haunted. And they had these beautiful sort of backgrounds that were done like that. And I don't know. I can't walk away from stuff like this. I should learn to. But I mean, I'm going to have, this one was actually a back painted piece, which is kind of neat. If you look at it, you see there how they've done the painting on the back. And it's like a home sweet home farm scene. And then there's another, can't tell if that's a lady or a gentleman. The thing is, these, I might just clean them up just enough. Because they kind of do, people buy these now kind of like they buy old porcelain dolls and sort of add that creepy haunted vibe to like a hallway or something like that by hanging it in it. So you never know. I might just clean these up just enough, or I might just use them to rescue the glass, and because people always buy that because they have ones, because the bowed glass breaks so easily on these. That a lot of people have the pictures of relatives, but they don't have the glass to cover it anymore, so you can sell those. Not a huge amount of money. Again, like you're looking at maybe, if I'm lucky, 20 bucks type thing for the glass out of these. So yeah, but still, again, free from the town dump. Sorry about that. I'm trying to, terrible camera work, but that's, if you're a follower of the channel, what you should expect. Fine, terrible camera work for myself. All right, that's it, folks. So yeah, just remember, check out your town dump and see if they have like a reuse section, because you never know what you might find there. Bye.